Hi, my name is Todd Myers, Global Head of Business Development and Corporate Marketing at MEDPACE. MEDPACE is a global, full-service, therapeutically focused CRO. Over the last 30 years, MEDPACE has been deeply rooted within the biotech communities around the world, helping our customers develop and accelerate safe and effective therapeutics and medical devices. It goes without saying that in today's drug development environment, it is very complex. Complex drugs, complicated study designs, and protocols. At MEDPACE, we recognize that it takes extreme talent, passion, resourcefulness, agility, and discipline. And sometimes it takes a secret weapon to move a promising drug forward. Over the years, MEDPACE has had the pleasure of working with many of these secret weapons across our biotech customers. And with that, we are very excited to announce the finalist in the secret weapon category. Enjoy the installment of Meet the Finalist, and we hope to see you at the ceremony on September 24th, where MEDPACE will announce the winner of the Secret Weapon Award.
I'm Azadeh Golipour from AVROBIO. So there are a number of well-known bottlenecks for manufacturing in the field of cell and gene therapy. Right from the beginning at AVROBIO, our goal was to incorporate the best technologies in order to streamline the process for manufacturing of drug product, as well as the critical raw materials. We put plans in place to achieve the necessary scale and cost reductions that are required for commercial production. These include first plasmid manufacturing. 3 of the 4 plasmids that we use across multiple indications are identical. This is to achieve efficiency as we expand our pipeline. Second, vector manufacturing in 200-liter bioreactors, an efficient, scalable process using chemically defined media for regulatory compliance. Third, an automated drug production process that follows the original academic process used in our Fabry phase 1 clinical trial for comparability. There is a lot of emphasis in gene therapy manufacturing on the value of bricks and mortar. We see a lot of big investment in the facilities with big footprints. At AVROBIO, in order to address the manufacturing capacity challenges, we went to small, not big. AVROBIO is powered by Plato, our proprietary platform designed to bring gene therapy to patients worldwide. Plato is designed to optimize the safety, potency, and durability of AVROBIO's investigational lentiviral gene therapies. Importantly, the technologies and processes that form Plato are intended to be replicable across programs to accelerate overall pipeline development. Plato includes several technologies related to the manufacturing of drug products, an efficient path to collect patients' own hematopoietic stem cells using mobilization agents followed by apheresis, an efficient automated manufacturing system designed to be rapidly deployable to contracted sites around the world, optimized lentiviral vectors designed to enhance vector copy number, transduction efficiency, and enzyme activity in target cells, and finally, advanced cryopreservation designed to extend shelf life and enable flexible scheduling for patients and healthcare providers. Plato puts AVROBIO in the position to address the common manufacturing challenges that have impacted other gene therapy companies in the past.
It's really important to bring these personalized gene therapies to patients and their families and worldwide. But that can be really quite difficult given the personalized nature of our drug product and also the enormous growth in the field of cell and gene therapy over the past few years. And this growth has really put a focus on manufacturing capacity. We can experience in the field capacity crunches for plasmids, for vectors, for drug product. But one of the really major issues and pinch points with manufacturing is really the availability of people. to bring new people into the field, to train them as the demand increases. There's also the space constraints, and another big issue is the cost of the manufacturing. If we want to bring these treatments to more patients, it has to be economically feasible for the healthcare system. And obviously, all of these things lead to one big way of addressing them all, and that is automation. And as you heard from Azadeh, this is really a big part of how we have addressed the manufacturing bottlenecks. Early on, we really focused on manufacturing processes at AVROBIO, and we focused in on what would be the best way to take us to the next level. We spent about 3 years optimizing the processes that we now call Plato to bring together the best technologies and to optimize everything for our specific drug product.
With Plato, our goal is to take our investigational therapies global when the time is right without investing hundreds of millions in new factories. We now have a portable, automated system that can manufacture investigational lentiviral therapies with less human intervention. The conventional process for manufacturing gene therapies is extremely labor-intensive. It requires highly skilled technicians to carry out a number of complicated manual steps in the clean room. With our system, nearly all of those steps have been automated. This potentially gives us big advantages. For example, with closed devices, you can theoretically run multiple drug productions in parallel in the same clean room, which would never be done in a traditional setup. We hope our work will play a significant role in advancing the larger-scale feasibility of one of the major gene therapy approaches, autologous lentiviral gene therapy. Technical manufacturing work is highly arcane, so it can be easy for our work to be relegated to the lab. But as we've shown, it can be fascinating, impactful, and have great potential benefits beyond any one program or drug. Our work really can be a secret weapon.
And I'd just like to add one further point that we're particularly proud of, that our manufacturing team, particularly early on, was composed all of women. And I hope that sends a signal to the field and all the young scientists up and coming to know that this is an area that really is challenging and brings all your scientific ability to bear on the problems.
I'm hugely appreciated to be nominated for this award. I think it's a great one. So my name's Tyler. I lead up the engineering group at Lyndra Therapeutics in Boston. And our mission is to reinvent medicine for a healthier world. And one of the ways that we're doing that is we're developing a product. It's an ultra long-acting oral dosage form. It's quite the mouthful. But what it means in practice is you take a single dose of a standard capsule or pill that you're used to, and you get 7 days or longer drug delivery. And this is really set out to tackle the major challenge that we're facing of non-adherence to prescription medication, which just here in the United States costs about $300 billion a year in unforeseen costs that are not necessary. And you may be asking yourself, why hasn't someone else developed this? And people have been trying for decades. But I think that Lyndra's major success has come at kind of applying an interdisciplinary approach to this and bringing together people with different backgrounds. So just for myself, I'm traditionally trained in mechanical engineering, yet I'm developing solid oral dosage forms. That's a unique combination that I think has given us a lot of success, and is when I think of secret weapon, there's a few different ways of thinking about it, but one of them is saying let's bring these people with non-traditional backgrounds to tackle these problems that exist, and people like myself to push the ball forward. I've been involved from the very early days, and I've been fortunate. So, kind of leading from the background, I would say, as the technical engineering lead. But from, I've taken this, with the organization from a concept on a napkin at MIT in Bob Langer's lab, all the way through to, in 5 short years where we're at now is, just about to dose a phase 2 clinical trials. So it's been very exciting to lead kind of from the background and make sure that everything's, all the wheels are turning in the background to get this to the clinic and now into later stage clinical trials and ultimately into the hands of patients that need it most. I think secret weapon means a couple things to me. So I think one, the one that I hit on earlier is kind of this I'm Lyndra's secret weapon in the sense that I bring a very non-traditional perspective to the table, given by my background and kind of my perspective. So when a problem is thrown in front of me, I'm not necessarily thinking like a medicinal chemist, which we definitely need, but I bring a different approach. I think the other aspect is, within the biotech community, there are really big personalities. There's a lot of really big personalities with grand visions, which is really important. Everybody in the biotech community, we're tackling some of the biggest problems for humanity. But at the same time, to round out that ecosystem, you need people in the background. These secret weapons in the background, making sure that the wheels are greased and everything's moving forward. And I really see it as those maybe not necessarily recognized folks that are pushing forward in the background, engineers, scientists, and others. I think that this type of award is really important, actually. For recognition of these people, it's very empowering to say, we see you. You're doing a great job. You might not be the frontliner. The Bob Langers of the world are pushing it forward. But in order to round out that ecosystem and make sure everything comes, again, to patients ultimately, you need everybody pushing ahead. I think there's three major reasons why I'm a really good candidate for this award. So first, again, I led up this major initiative, something that people have been trying to do for decades, of ultra long-acting oral drug delivery in 5 short years, where essentially we had a drawing on a napkin at MIT and turned it into a company, into a clinical program, into a product that's being tested in the clinic, and really, from the background as a technical lead, not necessarily the person that's in the limelight. The second piece is that I really do embody a sense of rolling up your sleeve to get things done. No task is too big or too small, and there's been numerous occasions where just literally rolling up your sleeves to get something done, whether it be putting on a hard hat and steel-toed boots to walk into a facility that's under construction to take a time point. No task is too big or too small. And I think the third piece is really, in order to tackle these enormous problems within biotech, which Lyndra is trying to tackle one of them, we really do need to have people that champion interdisciplinary work. And I think that I live and breathe that, and I think that that's where a lot of the solutions lie, is at the intersection of these alternative fields.
I am Kirti Sharma. I am currently Director of Proteomics at Kymera Therapeutics. At Kymera, I and my team are focused on pioneering targeted protein degradation, an incredibly exciting new modality with the potential to transform the way we treat many diseases. In particular, I joined the Kymera team to develop Kymera's E3 ligase whole body atlas. E3 ligases, you wonder, they are the enzymes involved in protein degradation, and to be truly effective against a range of diseases, we have to map E3 ligases that are expressed not only in health, but how are they expressed in disease. And in doing so, we can reduce the guesswork in drug discovery and rationally design protein-degraded therapies with the goal to eventually enable tissue-restricted or selective pharmacology, which, if successful, will not only advance TPD or targeted protein degradation, but more generally drug development. I love the name of this category, and I truly believe this category should have existed. I'm so excited to be nominated for this. I believe the Secret Weapon Category Award is important to the industry because it recognizes those who boldly and creatively think about solving major challenges. And in my case, I have thrived I've always thrived working in an atmosphere that continues to encourage me to approach drug discovery in completely new ways. And I apply this lens in my day-to-day research, helping cutting-edge technologies reach their full potential. As a result, Kymera is poised to enter clinical trials in 2021. Our mapping of E3 ligases has the potential to move the field of TPD or targeted protein degradation beyond what we call antibody-focused mapping to reliably understand the presence and function of E3 ligases in both health and disease cells, but more importantly, in entire human body tissues. And we truly believe this could pave the way to tremendous opportunities for next generation degraders that address a broad range of diseases through a tissue restricted, or we would call selective profile, which will allow new therapeutic hypotheses and new potentially transformative therapies to patients in need. I believe that an in-depth and accurate knowledge about key protein families, including E3 ligases, has the potential to significantly move the needle in the field and allow not only the targeted protein degradation modality to deliver fully on its promise, but also solve for fundamental drug development challenges that are inherent to all drug modalities. And specifically, how can one affect diseased tissue but spare healthy ones? That's common across all drug modality as a challenge. So about myself, I've dedicated much of my career to developing reliable and validated big omics data workflows that I believe will ultimately help shape the future of medicine and drug discovery. And more about myself there, at the Max Planck Institute, I worked under renowned German scientist, Professor Matthias Mann, on a Nobel Prize-winning technology and mass spectrometry-based proteomics. And in that role, I developed proteomics data acquisition and analysis approaches that yielded first in-depth cell type and brain region resolved brain atlas. At Kymera, it's been super exciting to further develop these concepts now in drug discovery to take on the challenge of whole body mapping of E3 ligases in health and disease, which we believe is central to Kymera's Pegasus drug discovery platform.
I'm honored to be thought of as a secret weapon, but quite truthfully, it's not just what I do as an individual that has led to success of Halozyme. It's a team effort, and it's very much around the culture that is ingrained at Halozyme. We do everything on a team basis. We live the one team philosophy, and everything we do is around focusing on the end result, but working as a seamless team, not about any one of us as functional experts. So I don't know that I'm necessarily the secret weapon, but I would say I have brought a couple of things to the organization that I feel pretty proud of. One of those relates to the culture of an alliance mindset, because everything we do is in a partnership. To be successful as a partnership, it means that everyone who touches somebody at that partner has to operate with the same alliance mindset. So we put in place a framework that I call Ecotex, which is based on 5 principles. One is leveraging our experience. We have done these kinds of programs with many partners and many programs over the last 12 or 13 years. And we have experience of what works well and what doesn't. So when we work with a partner, we're there to advise and give the benefits of our experience, what worked well, to help them be effective and efficient in their drug development process and bring that product to commercialization as quickly as possible. So one is about experience. The other is about meeting our commitments. When we say we're going to do something and it's going to be due September, it's got to be delivered on September. We can't slow our partners down, and that's something we're very proud of, that that we really do meet our commitments, and our partners tell us that. The third is around collaboration, because again, we want to be there to advise, but our partners drive the development program. They do the commercialization. We're there to advise and make sure that they're using our technology in the best, most efficient way. The fourth is around transparency. You know, things go well, sometimes they don't go well, and we have to be transparent about it and let our partners know when we have a problem or when we can't meet a commitment so that we can work together to solve it. And the last one is about execution. At the end of the day, it's all about delivering the results that we planned for, that we committed to, and that we need to deliver. So those are the 5 principles that we really talk about, and that's what we call the alliance framework, the alliance mindset. And everyone from every function, anyone who touches a partner, understands it's not about necessarily taking orders from the partner, and it's not about us just meeting our timelines at our convenience. It's about being a good partner, and if we disagree, having the right conversation. If we agree, how we can expedite it, and just having the right framework to talk about good news and tough issues at the same time. So that's one thing. It's about that culture. The second thing is, when I joined Halozyme about 4 years ago, we only had a couple of partnerships and we only had a couple of programs underway. And we've had significant growth over the last few years in terms of both number of partners and number of programs that we were developing with our partners. What was interesting is each alliance manager who was leading a partnership, their alliance and program managers, they were doing things their own way. And that was great. But when you're growing rapidly, you have to scale, you have to be scalable. You can't do everything in 5 different ways. There has to be one way, the Halozyme way, to how to get things done. And we realized that we could take the best of what everyone was doing and put it into a consistent process and framework, and that's what we did. So it's been about 1.5 years developing a process mapping of what we do from the time we sign a deal to the time that that first product makes it through the pipeline. And all the steps along the way, what we contribute, what the partner contributes, putting tools and templates and processes in place to codify them. So when new employees came into Halozyme, they could use that as a guiding post for how they are to operate, because everyone comes in with their own approach, but we want everyone to do it the Halozyme way. And so that we could be efficient and scalable as we were growing the number of programs. My team of alliance and program managers need to do that. My job, hopefully, is more than just coordinating, but setting the strategic framework, helping to build the tools and the resources, helping to set the culture for the organization, and hopefully helping to grow and guide my alliance managers as they're developing in their career and working with their partners. There's always issues that we have to deal with, and I'm maybe first line of where they would go to bounce ideas off of or have discussions about how do we solve a particular problem. The third area, and I think something that I bring to the table, I've been in the industry for over 30 years, I hate to admit it. And along with that, I've worked in 5 or 6 major and some small biopharma companies. So over the years, I've had the good fortune of meeting a lot of people and building a big network. And I like to think I have a big Rolodex, for those of you who remember what a Rolodex is. But because of that, when you're trying to build new partnerships and do deals, it's really nice to be able to pick up the phone and speak to somebody who's now a senior executive at a company who I worked with in our early days in the biopharmaceutical industry, and be able to say, hey, you know, I want to introduce you to this technology. This might be something that be of benefit to you. So I think, having been in the industry a long time and built that network, I bring that as well to help drive new business opportunities for Halozyme.